All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. I don't tell stories very often at the show, which seems sort of unusual, right? I could not wait to get to college. I was so excited to study broadcast journalism at the same school where Dick Clark and Bob Costas went, the Newhouse School at Syracuse University. Yeah, got some Newhouse people in the crowd. Damn, they are loud and proud. And but the thing was, I don't want to do hard-hitting news. I wanted to do features like interview Ricky Schroeder at the mall, or I really wanted to be the wacky weather girl. I dream big. I dream big. But instead, for the bulk of college, I was horribly bullied by about 60 guys. And so my college experience was not ideal. It's kind of hard to believe I cheer for Syracuse as much as I do. But I basically plummeted my senior year, and I became totally depressed. And I was like, the economy is in the toilet. I have nothing to live for, until I see the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Now, if you haven't seen this thing, it is 23-foot-long hot dog on wheels, and I am instantly drawn to it. And I came to find out that they were on campus recruiting for the next round of Wienermobile drivers and spokespeople, also known as hot doggers. And I was like, giddy up. I was so excited. Because basically, I was gonna get to be on TV and on the radio and the paper. I would get to travel all over North America. I get to meet new people every day. That really hurt. And then they were like, and we need you to tell hot dog puns every day. I'm like, but basically paying me to be myself. So I went full throttle into my application. And I made a resume that I catered to the job with saying that I was going to get a BSS in bologna sandwich skills. I was bragging about my excellent driving record, and my cover letter was riddled with puns, a hearty hot dog, hello to you! ! I recently traveled to Europe, where I got to use real French and Swiss francs. What a lucky dog I am! ! And and it's half exclamation points, half puns. But I knew that wasn't going to be enough, because it turns out that they were choosing 10 people out of 1,000 applicants. I had a 1% chance of getting this job. It was dog eat dog. By the way, buckle up. There are so many pork puns coming your way. And so that's when I was like, I got to put out all the stops. And that's when I created Rockin' Robin's Hot Dog Holiday Favorites, which, this is going to date me, was a cassette of me singing self-promotional songs, as you do, with hits like Oscar Mayer, Do You Hear Me? Wanna Be in That Weenie? And Robin Gelfenbien, that is my name all the time. This job will be mine. My shoe size is 9. I'm Jewish, but I dig on swine. Thank you. And I drew a Christmas tree with little hot dog ornaments and a menorah with little hot dog candles, which is completely sacrilege. And I send it off, and I wait, and I wait, and I finally get my first interview. It's with the Syracuse Oscar Mayer district manager. We chat effortlessly. I wiggle my ears to prove I wasn't lying about my special skills on my resume. I'll just show you right now. And I gave him a copy of Rockin' Robin's Hot Dog Holiday Favorites, stressing that it was only one of the few copies in the whole world. And then I waited, and I was going on like what piddly like few job interviews there were. I was interviewing with like Carrier Corporation and Barnes and Noble, and I was like, God, I don't want these jobs. Like, I just want to drive a dick truck. And then one day, I get a letter from Oscar Mayer that reads, and I quote, that I cut the mustard. Yes. Thank you. And they flew me to Madison, Wisconsin for second interviews. So they bring all of the hot dogger candidates in the night before for a hot dog social to see how we interacted with each other, with the senior execs, and to make sure we ate hot dogs. Apparently a vegetarian had slipped through the cracks the year before. And then the next morning we start at 7 a.m. sharp. And they had us all, it was like a reality show. They had like all the candidates in like the same conference room. We went through like 9 back-to-back meetings. And I was like, God, these people are so intense. And so it was like my time for my on-camera interview. And I was like, I'm not going to just like answer their questions. I'm going to prepare something epic. So all day long, I'm walking around with like my plaid suit with shoulder pads and my very posh green backpack, which I clutched like the Hope Diamond because deep inside were my secret weapons. Secret weapon number 1, my tap shoes. So I go strolling down the hallways of Oscar Mayer Hot Dog HQ, and I get to the room for the on-camera interview, and I freeze, and my heart just drops, and all I can think is, how the hell am I going to tap dance on carpet? I am a planner, but that was not one of my finer moments. But I was like, Gelfenbien, the show must go on. So I go in, and the guy, it's like this windowless conference room. The guy looks like Dilbert. He's been shooting people all day who are like, practically Disney employees. And I was like, hey, I just want them to know I went the extra mile. Can you get a shot of my tap shoes? And he's like, all right. And like he comes back up. He's like, whenever you're ready. And of course, like I had prepared a song. So like you do for a job interview. And but I wanted it badly. And so I just like launch into my routine, and I'll just do a little bit of it now. So it was like, look for me in the Wienermobile, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I'm gonna have the time of my life. I mean that great big Wienermobile. Then I go on, and the song like builds naturally, and I'm like, the Wienermobile. And I'm like doing wait. I look like a snow angel on crack. I like stick the landing, like and nothing. He gives me nothing. Absolutely no reaction. And I was totally crushed. So I left, and I was like, oh, Jesus, I have to like redeem myself now. And so I was on my way to meet the person who I had to impress the most, the Wienermobile manager, Russ, also known as the top dog. And Russ was very stoic. He was a former Army sergeant, and for some reason he breathed like Darth Vader. So I go in and I say to him like, hey, did you have a chance to listen to my tape? And he says, oh, you're this Robin. I know. But then he opens his top desk drawer to reveal Rockin' Robin's hot dog holiday favorites. And like my heart begins faster. Beating faster. I was like, oh my God, he knows my work. And he says, no, I haven't listened to it. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Well, if you want, you can listen to it on my Walkman right now. And he's like, that won't be necessary. And I said, how about this? Why don't I sing a few songs that didn't make it on the album, the B-sides? And I am sitting across the table. He's like right here. And I just like sing my first song, singing my heart out. Nothing. And I'm like, go big or go home. I'm going big. So I sing the next song, and the last line is, I'm going to have this job before I'm dead. And he goes, And And I leave, and I get on the plane, and I cry the entire flight home. I'm just like, they hate me. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm like too out of control. I just felt so dejected. And I get back to Syracuse, and I'm going back like to classes, and I'm just really, really upset. And a couple weeks go by, and I'm checking my mailbox daily. Nothing. And then one afternoon, I come in from class, and I get a phone call, and I hear, Robin. And I was like, I know that voice. I know that strange breathing. And he's like, this is Russ Whitaker calling from Oscar Mayer. We would like to offer you a position as hot dogger. Thank you. And you guys, I was like jumping up and down. I was crying. It was like he had just proposed to me. And what made me so happy was that for those 4 years of college, I had completely lost all sight of myself and who I was. And this job really was going to give me the chance to like find myself again. And it truly is like the best first job ever. And also the best job ever. And I was so proud. I was like, I'm going to be one of the few, the proud, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile hot doggers. And it was all the stuff I did was totally worth it because it was truly a job to relish. And that's no baloney. Thank you. Thanks. All right.